I used to think peace would feel like relief. Like the moment life finally got quiet, my whole body would just melt into it. No more overthinking, no more bracing, no more checking my phone like one message could ruin my whole nervous system. But the first time things actually got quiet, I did not feel peaceful. I felt strange. I remember sitting there with nothing wrong. No argument, no crisis, no one needing me, no emotional storm to manage. Just silence. And instead of relaxing, I reached for my phone. Not because I needed it, because the quiet felt too loud. I kept refreshing apps, checking messages that were not there, replaying conversations that were already over. And this one thought kept circling in my mind. Why do I feel uncomfortable when nothing is wrong? That is the part of healing nobody warns you about. Sometimes, when you come out of survival mode, peace does not feel safe at first. Sometimes peace feels boring. Sometimes calm feels suspicious. Sometimes stability feels like something is missing. But maybe nothing is missing. Maybe your body is just meeting a kind of safety it has not practiced yet. I want to say this gently, but honestly. There was a version of me that knew how to survive better than I knew how to rest. I knew how to read a room before anyone said a word. I knew how to hear a shift in someone's tone and immediately start adjusting myself. I knew how to explain myself before I was even accused of anything. I knew how to stay busy so I would not have to feel how tired I really was. And from the outside, it probably looked like I was fine. I was showing up, answering messages, doing what needed to be done, keeping things moving. But inside, I was always waiting for the next problem, the next disappointment, the next emotional shift, the next reason I would have to prove that I was good enough, useful enough, strong enough, easy enough to love. And the painful thing is, people praise you for surviving like that. They call you mature. They call you responsible. They call you strong. But sometimes what people call strength is really a body that never got permission to stop bracing. So when life finally became quieter, I thought I would immediately feel free. But I did not. I felt restless. I felt bored. I felt almost guilty. Like peace was this room I had entered, but I did not know where to sit. And that is when the shame started talking. Because when peace feels uncomfortable, your mind can turn against you fast. You start asking, do I miss the chaos? Am I addicted to drama? Why can't I just be grateful? Why does healthy feel so unfamiliar? And honestly, those questions can feel heavy. Because nobody wants to admit that part of them feels more comfortable in tension than in peace. Nobody wants to admit that silence can feel scarier than conflict. Nobody wants to admit that a calm relationship can feel boring when your body is used to chasing emotional highs and lows. But I had to learn something the hard way. I did not miss the chaos. I missed knowing who to be inside of it. Because in chaos, I had a role. I knew how to fix. I knew how to prepare. I knew how to overthink. I knew how to shrink. I knew how to earn approval. I knew how to survive disappointment before it even happened. But peace asked me to become someone I had not practiced being. Peace asked me to stop performing. Peace asked me to rest without earning it. Peace asked me to receive without looking for the catch. Peace asked me to let a calm moment be calm without turning it into a warning sign. And that felt vulnerable. Not because peace was wrong, but because peace left me alone with the parts of myself I had been too busy surviving to hear. I think this is why peace can feel boring after survival mode. Not because peace is empty, but because peace does not give your survival patterns anything to do. There is no fire to put out, no mood to manage, no hidden meaning to decode, no emergency to prepare for. And when your body has been living off urgency for a long time, the absence of urgency can feel like emptiness. It is almost like your nervous system says, "Wait, this is too quiet. Something must be coming. Don't relax yet. Don't trust this yet." So even when nothing is wrong, you go looking for something. You check your phone. You replay the past. You imagine the worst. You create a problem in your mind because a problem feels more familiar than peace. And that can be heartbreaking to realize, because sometimes the thing we call boredom is actually withdrawal from survival mode, withdrawal from intensity, withdrawal from being needed, withdrawal from constantly having to prove we deserve love, rest, or safety. That does not mean you are broken. It means your body learned chaos first. And now, it has to learn peace slowly. This is also where Neville Goddard's teaching feels different to me now. Because Neville talked about states. The state you live in inwardly becomes the reality you experience outwardly. But for a long time, I thought a state was just a thought. Like if I repeated, "I am safe" enough times, I would automatically feel safe. If I said, "I am loved" enough times, I would stop fearing rejection. If I imagined the wish fulfilled strongly enough, my body would just catch up. But I do not think it always works that way. Because sometimes your mind can say, "I am safe," while your shoulders are still up by your ears. Your mind can say, "I am chosen," while your stomach drops every time someone takes too long to respond. Your mind can say, "I am living in the end," while your body is still living in the emotional memory of being abandoned, criticized, rejected, or constantly on edge. So now I ask a deeper question. Not just, can I think from the end? But can my body tolerate the peace of the end? Because sometimes the wish fulfilled is not dramatic. Sometimes it is not butterflies. Sometimes it is not obsession. Sometimes it is not chasing signs every 5 minutes. Sometimes the wish fulfilled feels like a quiet morning, a soft breath, a message you do not have to decode, a normal day where nothing falls apart, a relationship where you are not auditioning for love, a life where your nervous system finally whispers, "I do not have to fight for this anymore." And if your body has confused intensity with truth, that kind of peace may feel fake before it feels safe. So here is what I wish someone had told me earlier. You are not bored because peace is wrong. You might be bored because your body is used to urgency. You are not restless because the calm life is not meant for you. You might be restless because your nervous system is waiting for a threat that is not there anymore. You are not self-sabotaging because you secretly want pain. You might be reaching for the emotional climate your body already knows. And that matters, because when you understand this, you stop shaming yourself for needing time. You stop calling yourself dramatic. You stop thinking something is wrong with you just because calm does not immediately feel natural. You begin to see the difference between true disconnection and unfamiliar safety. Because sometimes, especially after chaos, we mistake activation for chemistry. We mistake unpredictability for passion. We mistake anxiety for intuition. We mistake the chase for love. And then when something steady comes along, something kind, something calm, something that does not require us to beg, prove, perform, or panic, our body does not always say, "Thank God I am safe." Sometimes it says, "Where is the intensity? Where is the fear? Why does this feel so quiet? Why am I not obsessing? Why does this feel boring?" But what if boring is not the absence of love? What if boring is the absence of fear? What if boring is your nervous system standing in a safe room, not knowing what to do with its hands yet? What helped me was not forcing myself to feel peaceful overnight. It was learning to stay with peace in small doses, tiny doses, like 10 seconds. I would sit in a quiet moment and feel the urge to grab my phone. And instead of judging myself, I would pause, just for a breath. I would feel my feet on the floor, unclench my jaw, let my shoulders drop, and say quietly, "This is peace. This is not danger. This is quiet. This is not abandonment. This is stability. This is not boredom. This is rest. This is not failure." And no, it did not magically fix everything. Sometimes I still wanted noise. Sometimes I still wanted distraction. Sometimes I still wanted something to solve because solving made me feel in control. But slowly, my body started collecting new evidence. Nothing bad happened when I rested. No one punished me for having boundaries. The calm moment did not disappear just because I stopped gripping it. And little by little, peace stopped feeling like a threat. It started feeling like space. And I think that is how the nervous system learns. Not through pressure, through repetition, through small moments where the body expects danger and receives safety instead. And one day, it happens quietly. You do not even notice it at first. You are sitting in your room, and there is no TV playing in the background, no podcast filling the silence, no phone in your hand, just you. And for once, the quiet does not feel like punishment. It feels like breathing room. Or someone sends you a kind message, and you do not scan it for hidden rejection. You just let it be kind. Or you have a peaceful day, and instead of thinking, "Something bad must be coming," you let the day stay peaceful. That is when you realize healing does not always feel like a breakthrough. Sometimes it feels ordinary, steady, simple. Almost too simple for the version of you that was used to fighting for every small piece of peace. But ordinary can be holy when your body has spent years surviving. A calm morning can be a miracle. A quiet nervous system can be a miracle. Rest without guilt can be a miracle. Being loved without performing can be a miracle. So if peace feels boring after survival mode, please do not rush to judge yourself. You may not be missing chaos. You may just be learning safety. You may not be bored. You may just be unactivated. You may not be broken. You may just be needing a version of life your body never had enough safety to practice before. And this is why, here on Heal Calmly, we regulate the body first, so belief finally works. Because the more peace becomes familiar, the less chaos will feel like home.